All right, so, and we typically recommend 2 table knives per family members, so you don't have to wash them every meal. Now, for customers who like the feel of a large steak knife, our steak knives, which were basically created for the state of Texas. I mean, we've had these since 1949, but in the last 10 years, we had a lot of people that say, well, you know, I got a big steak, and I got a big table, and I got some big hands, so I want a big steak knife too. So we did create them. Now, there is no difference in the blade. There's just difference in the length. So our 2 bigger sets, which I'll show you about here in a minute, they both come with those 2. Now, Mrs. and Mr. and Mrs. Jones, it would be so dangerous to have any of these knives, even just one of them, floating around in your drawer. So that's why Cutco has produced the world's finest wood blocks made of solid oak. They have little rubber pegs at the bottom, so they're not going to slide around your countertop, and they're elevated in case you slip water through them. They're treated with resin material, which is the same stuff that the handles are made out of, so they're not going to absorb any odors, grease, or bacteria. And they look beautiful, and they organize all your knives sideways, so when you pull out the knife, they're not going to cut the wood or dull the knife. All right, and again, the wood blocks are really important. It's kind of like buying a Ferrari and then not having a garage. It's like buying really, really expensive tools and not putting them in a garage. It's like, you know, not having a wood block is sort of like buying really expensive things and then just leaving them out in your front yard, right? Like they'd get stolen, they'd get broken, they'd get, you know, messed up. And so these keeps your knives sharper longer and keeps your fingers from needing as many Band-Aids, because I'd hate to have a little kid reach into a drawer where there's Cutco knives and they're reaching for an ice cream scoop, right? Probably wouldn't come out the same way. So worst case scenario, we also have these really nice safe storage trays if you don't have a lot of space in your drawer. And all of our sets can actually come with these storage trays instead. Our sets also come with free cutting boards. And it's important to have really soft plastic cutting boards like the one we use today. Glass and granite and marble cutting boards are way too hard and will dull your knives. Then these kitchen tools, while they're definitely not good for Teflon, because Teflon's so not good for you, we have all stainless steel, you know, and I love the whisk, which is really cool. We have the flipper, which is nice for like flipping your eggs, your serving and basting spoon, and then your lal for your punches and gravies and margarita mix. All right, and then finally is the entertainer pack, and these have like the comfort grade handles, and you have that peeler you saw earlier, the pizza cutter, the dense food knife, and then our world famous ice cream scoop that will actually melt your ice cream as it's cutting into it. And of course, those are all forever guaranteed. So, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, let me review why most people that I see choose to get a set of Cutco. First of all, you're going to have, you know, sharp American-made knives that are comfortable, safe, and sanitary. They're guaranteed to last forever, so it'll be the last set of knives you'd ever have to buy. And Cutco's going to save you a lot of money, because most people that buy Cutco, they eat out less. Let's say they go out to eat 1 time less per month, just because they like their knives and they don't mind using them. Well, that's $60 per meal, right? $60 in a month. Times 12 is $720. And then if you cook for, let's say, only 25 years, 25 times 720 is $18,000 that we believe that you're going to save by owning Cutco that you love to use. And there's many reasons why people just choose this set of Cutco. First of all, you're going to have all the right tools for all the right jobs. The sets are going to have a built-in discount, so it's a lot cheaper. They come with a free cutting board. You also get a bunch of other free stuff that I'll tell you about in a minute. And they're much safer because they come in a block or a tray. Plus, we have all the interest-free investment options, so you never have to pay for it all at once. Okay, so when it comes to high-quality cutlery, it's like anything else. There's a wide variety of quality and prices available. Now, I've got a price comparison for our top competitors, Wusthof and Shun. Have you guys ever heard of Wusthof and Shun before?
I've heard of Wusthof before.
Yeah, they're sold at like Williams-Sonoma. They're the most popular in the store. Meaning, like, if I didn't own Cutco, well, I wouldn't buy it because I'm not your age. But if my mom didn't own Cutco and I knew about cutlery like I know today, and Cutco didn't exist, I would tell you, you should definitely buy Wusthof because it's the very, very best. It's going to last you about 10 to 15 years, and it's going to be a lot cheaper than buying the cheap crap over and over again. And they're awesome. I mean, they are rated the best. They're going to last you forever. It's a really great brand. The price for the Wusthof set is $3,435. And you can typically find it on sale on Williams-Sonoma's website for right at about $2,000. Now, there are some major differences between these brands and Cutco. First of all, Cutco's there, and Cutco's got the the universal wedge lock handle that's more comfortable with the thermoresonant material, where they just have like the straight and round the handles. Their edge is just straight edges that must be constantly sharpened, straight edges that can never be sharpened. We have the Cutco double the edge. Our guarantee covers I mean, it's forever. Theirs just covers defects and craftsmanship. It means if something breaks, they'll replace it up front. But 10 years later, you try to go back to a store without a receipt and bring back one broken knife, and they will probably
laugh at you.
Maybe laugh at you. Exactly. So with us, we have the performance guarantee. We have the sharpness guarantee, so you never have to sharpen them again. We have the replacement in case you're trying to open up paint cans with it. And then we have the 15-day money-back guarantee. So it allows you to try the product line in home for a couple weeks. Make sure you love it with you and your husband. All right. So when, people that already own Cutco, like my mom, like your neighbor Susie, like the 300 people that I've sold Cutco to in the last year, they'll tell you that it's 10 times better than any knives I've ever used. Just considering the guarantee unique features, most people would agree that Cutco is at least twice as good as Wusthof. Well, when something offers twice the quality and twice the value, what you normally ask for in price?
Twice the price.
Should be twice the price, right? It's like a Honda versus a Mercedes-Benz, right? You can't complain the Mercedes is twice the price, it's twice the quality, right? At twice the price, you're talking over $4,000 for a set of Cutco. So let me show you what you'd get. As I said earlier, our Homemaker Builder is our most popular set. And this is what we call our most basic option. What I'm going to show you right now are our 3 most popular options that people typically choose when they buy a set of Cutco. First of all, is going to be our complete set. This is for someone that literally wants every single piece of Cutco we make, never has to worry about buying knives for them, their family members. They love to cook. They've got a huge family. Maybe they just like to have the best that we make. And this set has everything. It does have the 10 pieces of the Homemaker. Then it has the customer requested knives. These are the people, some of the knives that when people owned the original set of Cutco, they were requesting, hey, we need a Santoku style, we need a vegetable, we need a cleaver knife, we need a salmon knife, we need a shorter slicer, we need a deboning knife, we need a cheese knife. And it's got basically everything you need. It's got 12 table knives and the shears built in. That's the complete set. Then this is called the family set. This is a set for people that, you have a larger family. So some people always come over and help you cook a little bit. So you've got 2 chef's knives. And this comes with 10 of the table knives. And you get some of the fun knives to use when people are coming over, one for like summer sausages, one for cutting like your cheese, things like that too. And then 10 table knives and the scissors built in. And then we have just our basic Homemaker set. Again, this is more like you're cooking 2 to 4 times a week. You don't need all the extra stuff. And this only comes with 8 table knives. Now, if you were considering a set of Cutco, which one do you think would be a better fit for you guys? The complete set with everything, the family style, or just the basic?
I think the middle one would probably be better.
Just the family one? Okay.
Which one do you have, Chad?
That one right there.
All right, so I'm going to give you the price for the family set, and once we go through some of the options, you can tell me if that seems like a good fit for you, if you want something bigger, if you want something smaller, or something totally different. All right, so for the family set, here's a cool thing. So this set is 50% bigger than the Wusthof set that you saw before. So it's got the 10 pieces, but it also has, instead of 8, it's got 10 of the table knives. It also has 3 more pieces in it, and it's got a bigger wood block, and one of those pieces is not a sharpener. So it's about 50% bigger than that set. It comes with our 3 cutting boards instead of just the 1. And so if it was 50% bigger than that set, it should be at least $3,000. Now, the great thing about the signature set, this family set, is this set is only $1,819 or $353 on the 5-pay. And if you get it today, we have a buy now bonus where I could give you the super shears.
Aren't the super shears in that?
Sorry, where I can give you the kitchen tools.
I made that mistake before when they said that.
Yeah, where I can give you the kitchen tools and the entertainer pack for free. So that is $400 of free Cutco that you get by spending $353 today. So you get more for free than you're in spending. Again, that's got all of these tools, the 10 pieces in the Homemaker. It's got the 10 steak knives, 10 table knives, and the shears. Now we do have an option. You can get it with table knives or steak knives. Do you like the idea of the bigger steak knives, or you think you're comfortable with the table knives?
Can we do half and half?
Sure. Is that what you want?
Sure. I don't know.
Never had that
That's so
question
weird.
before, but that's a good question to ask.
I know. I've always thought about it. Like, can you do like 5 steak knives and 5 table knives?
Yeah, you can just do the trade-in, and then they can buy 5, and you can just do 5 and 5.
Will it all fit in the block though?
You just have to order the block with the steak knife.
Well,
No,
the-
you
the
order
block
you do a
size is the same,
trade-in.
I think.
You can do a trade-in on the signature set, and then you bonus 5 table knives and 5 steak knives instead of all the table knives. Kind of cut you down your CPO a little bit.
They don't
but it's okay.
change the little size of the little
No,
slit.
they're all the same.
But it's a
fit both.
different height.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
The signature and the ultimate block are all
No,
are the same
the-
regardless.
If you have the table knives with the signature, or if you have the steak knives with the signature, the height of the slot, like not the width of the slot, but the height of the
Like
slot
the
is
depth
different.
of it.
Yeah, because if you put a steak knife into a table knife slot, the steak knife
Look at
comes
it over
out
there.
like,
It's the same.
wow. No, because that's
Well,
the
then
steak
you
knife.
just get it in the steak knife slot.
There is no difference in the blocks anymore. The blocks are the same.
Oh, because I just have my mom's old block, so I tried it with yours, and when
When
I
you
went
say old block, what do you mean?
she had an old signature block from like 10 years ago.
Okay, so before we came out with the steak knives,
Mhm.
the signature blocks were
Okay.
shorter. Now they've all made them the same because you can have it be taller and it fits both. It doesn't make any sense to make a shorter one anymore.
That's a good thing to bring up, though. I mean, some customers have sets from that long ago. So
Some, but it's going to be not as frequent. If it ever happens, or it comes up, you can always just ask.
Oh,
the company will exchange
I
it.
guess for the sake of it, we'll do the steak knives.
Okay, so the steak knives instead. And I would have the prices of these broken down already, but so it's $20.69.
$20.69.
with the steak knives, it's $169 instead of $18.19.
Yes, Blakey.
It says in the price list.
I'm not good at math yet. Just a kid.
Not even close. $3.96. Okay, so with the steak knives, it would be an extra $54 a month. Now, let me ask you a question. If you were going to do this set, do you think that you would use all the pieces?
Probably.
Yeah, I think so.
Would there be any pieces that you don't think that you would use? Or would it be a good fit?
Maybe not both the forks.
Both the forks. Okay, so what we can do is when you get the set, we can go ahead and send you a prepaid UPS label, return one of the forks, and so you get $50 credit back on your card if you'd like.
All right, and that'll make up the difference for the
Mhm.
first month.
Yep, just for the first month though. Would there be other tools you don't think you would use?
I think we used pretty much all the other ones.
Okay, and then if you were going to do it, would you do it in the black color or the white color?
This is the black.
The black. Okay, and would you want to pay for it in full, or would you want to divide it up on the 5 pay?
5 payments for sure.
On the 5 pay, and then since we do have an availability, the only other thing that I could do instead of one of these two is I can do a K-bar hunting knife, or I can do a garden tool set. Or do you like these two as the item for free?
Let's do a K-bar.
Instead of which one, the kitchen
God.
tools or the
Instead of the kitchen tools.
instead of the kitchen
Gotta do
tools?
the K-bar, Dad.
All right. So free K-bar knife, $4.50 a month, and then that gives you a 50-day money-back guarantee in case you don't want to. In case something doesn't, isn't perfect, you can always return individual pieces, like we mentioned, the fork, and it'd be here in about 7 to 10 business days. Did you want to use credit or debit card?
You'll take check.
Sure. Yeah, we'll take a check. Cool. All right. So I want to actually pause for a second because I want you to recognize what my closing question is.
Do you want to use credit or debit?
No, it started way earlier than that.
Sorry, way earlier.
It started way earlier than that. My first question was,
Yeah,
would you
black,
use all
white.
the pieces?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So step number 1 is, would you use all the pieces? I soft close them way hard. Kind of an ironic thing to say. Would you use all the pieces? Would you get it in the black or the white?
5 pay.
Would you do it paid in full, or would you do it in a 5 pay? And then debit or credit card? Right, what you heard as the customer is debit or credit card. What you experience through the close is confirmation question, confirmation question, confirmation question, confirmation question, confirmation question, all ownership style. And then the free option on the question 2. Would you do this one or do you do this one for free? Now, here's what happens. If I get any, I don't know, then I'm going to start thinking about, then I'm going to drop down. But if I keep getting yeses, I'll just keep going through my 4 confirmation questions. Black or white, paid in full, would you use all the tools, and then what was the other one?
Credit or debit.
No, the hunting knife for the.
Oh, so I guess that's 5th. That's the 5th one, I guess. So, but most of the times the free stuff is pretty locked in. So, and it's typically not the issue.
Do you have anyone, if they've confirmed all 4 times, like, whoa, well, we're not sure we're going to do that today?
Of course. But it's less likely to happen if I do it that way. A lot of times they'll be just like, all right. And sometimes they'll just look at each other.
Okay.
Because they're just like, they're like saying yes, 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 yes. And all of a sudden they're just like, I guess yes. Mine is an interesting thing like that. It likes to say yes. We're all yes pleasers, aren't we? We all want to say yes to stuff. That's why you show up at 7 a.m. because you felt bad to say no. So you showed up anyways, and surprise, you actually learned some shit, so you keep coming back. Right? Tricked you into being awesome. Sorry.
Sorry, not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry at all. But you know, the reality is that you're going to get some no's at that point. Of course, you're going to get some no's. You're asking them to drop $1,800. I'm not saying it's going to happen yes every time. And so you say like, hey, no sweat. Just showing you the biggest option. Let me ask you a question. Are you even in the market to spend $450 today on a payment option? Pause. Write that question down. It's very direct, but I think the customers appreciate that. You're letting them off the hook. Mrs. Jones, are you even in the market to spend $450 today? So, Mr. Jones, are you even in the market to spend $450 today?
Maybe like 300, maybe.
Okay, so you'd be more comfortable around the 300 range?
Yeah.
Okay. By the way, that happens sometimes. What else might they say?
Not really.
Maybe.
They might go into the rattle. You guys know what a rattle is?
Yes.
What's the rattle, Jenny?
Literally every single excuse they can possibly think of to why they can't buy something today.
You ever heard the rattle?
Oh, yeah.
I just want you to imagine a baby's rattle going off in their brain. That's not allowing them to have a conversation with you. They're having a conversation with whom? Themselves. You're not in that conversation, by the way. The only moment that you get into the conversation is if you can start relating to them. Mrs. Jones, I totally understand. You know, I'm saving money to pay for college. LSU is, you know, however much $1,000 a year, and I'm trying to help pay for some of it, and I've got this, so I totally get it. Like, I'm right there with you, and I completely understand. I just want to show you the best option because I think you deserve that for sure. So, I just want to show you the largest option, excuse me. So why don't we do this? Let's look at something that I think would be a way better fit for you. And that would be the dropping down line. Let's take a look at something. So it's not do you want to, it's let's take a look at something that I think might be a much better fit for you. Let's take. It's a polite command, basically. What a lot of customers like to do is they like to start with our basic set, and then you can always upgrade to the bigger set later. It's really easy, actually. All you do is add in the 3 extra pieces, and you trade in your old block, and we give you a huge discount to get to the newer block. So with our basic option, you're getting our 10 most popular pieces people use all the time, 8 of the table knives. You think you guys can get by with just 8 table knives? At least for now?
I think so.
Okay, cool. All right, comes with a wood block. And now you can't do the kitchen tools and the entertainer pack. But if you did it today, I can give you the kitchen tools or the entertainer pack for free. Which of those 2 free options would you prefer?
The shears.
Oh, the shears instead? Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, so the Homemaker.
Yeah, like those shears. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Cut the pen.
Cut
the
my
shears.
finger off. I could cut your finger off.
So that one, instead of it being $18.19 like the family set, that one's only $12.12. And on the 5 pay, what you're gonna, I think hopefully this will work well for you. This one's only $265,
Okay, yeah, that's.
and that includes tax. And so, you're saving, you're about 50% down from the lower set, but it's only one size set lower. Okay, our sets are discounted significantly. Our homemakers are very best value. That's why we sold $28,000 of them, 28,000 of them, last year, because it's the best value for the average family, and you can always upgrade later. You still get a sharpener, you still get one cutting board, and you still get all the tools, and you still get the springs of green onion, which I'll cut up for you later. Just kidding. I can leave them for you today. All right, so it's $265 today. Would you do that one? Would you still want to do that divided up on the 5 pay, or would you do it paid in full?
The 5 pay, just to keep it under 300.
Okay. All right, cool. And then do you want to use a debit card or a credit card? What's more comfortable? Or do you want to use that check still?
Honey.
I'll get your wallet.
All right. Okay. So what if they say no? Right? Because again, I know that I'm kicking butt and picking names right now. However, we want to make sure that they are. We want to give you guys a little more, kind of like the showing of how to drop down, right? So, what if they say no to that?
Maybe not today. Oh wait.
So let's take a look at an option that'd fit you a little bit better.
So it's still a bit too much money.
Yeah. Or maybe.
Do you like the Homemaker though? Does this feel like the right size set for you?
I think so. I really do think we're gonna use everything in it.
Yeah.
Is there just a little bit more than maybe what you guys want to fit into the budget?
Yeah.
So I think we have a really good option that might be a better fit for you guys. It's called our Homemaker Builder, and basically, it's people that really want the home. So okay, let me take a step back. Hold on a second.
Trade in?
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question. Like, how much too much is it? Is it like $50, like $100 too much, 200, or like a little bit more than that too much?
I mean, maybe just like $100 or $200 too much.
$200 too much. Now that happens half of the time. The other half of the time with most customers are like,
it's way out of our budget.
Yeah, it's a lot more too much. But you really like the Homemaker set. Okay, I'm gonna go through both options. If they say it's $200 too much, be like, actually, we have a special program right now called the trade-in special. Now, I can't give you the free stuff, but what I can do is I can give you a huge discount on this set today if you trade in some of your old least favorite knives. So remember the knives that we cut with the rope earlier that we're really not doing as well? If you did that set today, instead of $1,212, that would bring it down to $959, or only $210 a month on the 5 pay. How does that sound? Yes, no. If it's way too much, be like, no, it's more like $400 or $500 too much, something like that. Be like, hey, I totally get it. We have a program for customers who really love the Homemaker, but it's just a little bit more out of their price range, called the Homemaker Builder. So basically the way that it works is this. It's actually perfect because you get the entire Homemaker set. It's going to leave out the butcher knife and the master carving set just for now. It's typically the least used tools, and you get a set of 6 table knives instead of 8. So again, it's exactly the same Homemaker, except you're missing it leaves out the butcher knife and the master carving set, but you still get the Homemaker plus 8 wood block. That way you can always put those in there later. You don't have to buy a new block all the way down. So this set, instead of it being $1,212, this one's only $676. Or only $148 a month on the 5 pay.
So is that the galley set?
How is it $676?
It's the galley knives and the Homemaker.
It's the galley plus 6 trade-in special and a Homemaker plus 8 wood block.
Isn't the galley $874?
Right, but the Homemaker Builder, the trade-in special. It does the trade-in special. That's why it's $676. The reason why I do it all the way down like that is because it'll close. Especially if it's just like $300-400. I mean, it's such a significant difference between $676 and $1,212. It looks like 50%. It looks like it's half price. It looks like it's half price. $150 is the amount of money that most people feel that when they are going to see someone for an appointment that they're probably comfortable spending max is like $100 and change. And so I feel that really gets them. And then at Christmas time, I just sell them the butcher knife and the carving knife, and I give them the fork for free. Or I sell them the 3 knives, and I give them the 2 table knives for free. That's why it's called the Homemaker Builder, because you can build up to the Homemaker later.
Sweet, can you just buy the damn knives, please?
By the way, oftentimes at the end of this demo, I'll upsell them the last pieces after I've closed it. So once we've gotten the credit card number, be like, hey, I mean, it's totally cool either way, but for an extra for an extra $50 or $60, you'd have all the pieces already. And how about this? If you do it today, I'll throw in an ice cream scoop for free.
I thought if we did it today, we got an entertainer pack.
No, not the $9.59 ever.
Oh.
At the trade-in price. Then you get nothing for free. But at this price, you get both of those for free. But this one, you get nothing. However, if you do it today, I'll hook you up with an ice cream scoop or a pizza cutter. Or I'll give you one of the accessories for free. Just for helping me out because I'm really in a big contest.
No, we'll stick with the 676.
Okay, awesome. All right, so what if that's still too much?
You can't drop the galley, you gotta drop the essentials.
Now, at this point, the trick is how do you build value for a starter set when you've been hyping up all the other sets?
Pieces they're going to use every day.
Telling stories. Telling stories. So, Mrs. Jones, let me tell you what my mom actually did when she first started with Cutco. She actually didn't get the full size set, and you just got to pick a customer that did it like this. She didn't get the full set. Now, she had it eventually because she ended up being able to build more value to it. But she actually started with one of our starter sets because you basically get all the tools that you want, and you still get the best value for Cutco. And the most important reason to do it today is because it locks in your pricing for all the other sets. You'd never pay more on any of the other options than you would have today. And we always give the best special on the first call special. Okay, so this set is called our essential set. It's literally the essential tools, and I think it's perfect. And that's what my mom really liked it for. You got the paring knife for the air, you got the spatula for sandwiches, you get an everyday carving set. This one does all your fruits, all your vegetables. It's going to be the workhorse of the kitchen, and then your chopper for all your salads and all your big stuff. Then you get 5 table knives. I know it's the 3 of you plus company every once in a while, and it still comes with a cutting board as well. And this set is only
$546.
the essentials plus 5 is $682.
Maybe that's without table knives.
With the and you still get the shears for free. Now, if you're cool without the shears, we can do it for $507.
Yeah.
Or $112 a month.
I was just wondering because like how you drop from the Homemaker Builder, which is $676.
Because this one gives you free shears.
Yeah.
But if you didn't care about the scissors, we do it at $112.
No, we weren't looking to spend that much today.
No problem. You know what most customers like to do? And again, you have to move fast through that. They're like, no, you're like, okay, no problem. You know what most customers like to do? They like to customize their own set. That way you can actually get exactly what you wanted, whether it's individual pieces or the entire package, and you can really customize it perfect for you.
So you don't show them the other, you don't show them the studio that's cheaper?
I will customize, and then I'll go to a set if I feel like it's close enough to it.
Gotcha.
So what are the tools that you think you'd use the most out of this option here?
Oh, the trimmer.
So the trimmer you think you'd use a ton? That's perfect. That's the best one. Go ahead.
The spatula spreader.
Okay, what else?
The butcher knife.
Pause. So what did I do right away as he started saying stuff?
Started writing it down.
What did I say?
No, what else?
What else did I do?
Yeah.
I started saying what else? I started complimenting his options, so it kind of keeps them moving, keeps the energy high, not down, right? Spatula spreader. What else did you like?
The butcher knife.
The butcher knife. Okay, and then how about yourself? Which one do you like the most? And see, now I get into her because she hasn't said anything because he's taking over.
The petite.
So now he's got all the masculine energy, is like running through like a war. But I'm like, no. I want feminine energy because she's gonna be more nurturing. I always go back to the wife. Always go to the wife. Like he will talk anyways, no matter what I do. So I'm just gonna stare directly at her and be like, "What else do you like?" And he's like, "Well, what about this?" He's like, "No. Which one did you say you wanted again?"
Petite.
The chef knife for your salads. That you're gonna try to, force him to eat every once in a while too. Yeah. Right. Right. So I'm like making a joke, not even looking at him. I have rapport with her, and he thinks it's kind of funny. Right. So it's like, right.
I've never seen Dad eat green stuff.
Right. Exactly. Right. Other than like green gummy bears. Right. And then if you had to choose, is there anything else? How about any of the fun knives over here?
The cheese knife.
Ooh, yeah.
Okay. Now, what did I say? How about any of the fun knives? Right. These are fun to use. Right, you can have a big meat cleaver, salmon knife, a deboning knife. Everybody needs a good boner. The cheese knife.
Boner.
Oh God.
These are the men in your life there.
I know.
Good job. You picked them well. And then let's go through some of the most popular accessories. Do you guys have any weddings coming up?
Not really.
No?
No.
Isn't your boss getting married? Anyways.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
About that.
Right.
We don't like him enough for that.
I've had a
Do you like to
customer
garden?
say that.
What?
I don't like people enough to buy them Cutco, especially if they're not going to appreciate the value of it. And I was like, okay, she kind of gets
No,
it.
I get
but
that all the time.
Not
Like,
where I'm going.
oh, if I'm spending money, I'm not spending it on someone else.
Yeah.
Okay,
Hey,
cool. So let me
better for that.
restructure the question. So do you have any weddings coming up? Let's say you have
Yeah.
one. What is a typical price range that you probably would budget for a wedding?
Like $100.
Like $100?
Yeah.
Let me show you a couple of $100 options.
Hey.
Get that?
Hey, I like
Let me
that.
show you a couple $100 options. So this is a $100 option, for example. And this one's like 80, 90 bucks. What's perfect what's good about the party favorites is that we can personalize it. We can actually engrave their name right on the right on the pie cutter. That way, every single time they have the holidays, they'll think of you guys. For the Johnson family, you know, October 13th, 2017, whatever is the date of their wedding. It'll be a personalized gift they'll use all the time, always in parties and celebrations. So they'll always have friends and family over and they'll think of you. That's a cool option too. And they should be like, oh, I like that. And like, okay, cool, let me write that down. Here's a couple of other options here. These are going to be into like the 120 range, something like that.
Who'd that be?
It's one of the new ones. Come on in. Come.
Ooh,
Table
I mean-
knives.
we didn't really get table knives in our set.
Hey, come in. You can have a seat. We're just going through an advanced training meeting.
I left my charger here yesterday.
Did you?
Yeah.
Possibly.
It's a really long white one. It's probably still around here, honestly.
I don't know. Maybe. Possibly. Okay.
Ooh, cookware. You'll make cookware too?
Mm-hmm.
And flatware.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, we kind of have a little bit of everything. Okay. So were any of these items pieces that you kind of want to add on your wish list
Okay,
at all?
I had a question yesterday about our gardening stuff, and she was so into it.
Uh-huh.
And then she's like, wait a minute. Y'all don't cover losses. So if I leave it outside one day and it gets stolen, like I'm out like $50 just on a trowel. And I'm like, unfortunately, yes. And she's like, darn. So she didn't want them because there's always that possibility of losing it.
That's like a stupid question. You get that, right? If I lose something, will you give me a new one? If you lose your child, do they just give you a new one? If you lose a cell phone, do the company just give you a new one? No, nobody covers loss. Right? Unless you pay insurance.
Mhm.
Right? So no, we don't. So unfortunately, we don't provide insurance. We provide a guarantee.
Yeah.
So, but
But how could I like just gotten past that question? Like how could like just
we don't cover
answer it
loss.
truthfully?
We're
but,
like, if they say like, do you guys cover loss? We're like, no, we don't have any insurance because that would obviously be very expensive for on top of the product line. However, we do have a forever guarantee because what most people encounter is not so much loss, but stuff that's breaking and rusting and whatnot. Okay, so if anything breaks or rusts, you'll never have to replace it again. Plus, it's also the satisfaction of it every single time you use it. It's a lot more fun. So, do you want me to just put it on your wish list?
Okay.
So, were there any tools here that you'd like me to add to your wish list?
Pruners.
Pruners? Aren't most pruners terrible?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ours have a forever guarantee, and they've been rated by the New York Mafia as the #1 pruners to lop out people's fingers. I just look straight down and I just see if I got like anything from them at all. It's just kind of like to know what I'm working with. Again, just breaking the tension one more time. I try to find I mean, you guys, you're not writing some of these jokes. Like, this is how I sell Cutco. If I make them laugh, how do they feel?
Good.
And if somebody feels good, what do they do?
By Cutco.
Yes. Right. So again, you can laugh all you want, but these jokes is like where I made money. Every time I can tell a joke, I know. But the New York Mafia one, I didn't come up with any of this stuff, by the way. I stole it from everybody.
Didn't you sell it in New York too?
Oh yeah. That was awesome. When I used to say it. No, when I was over there, I never said it like that
Oh god.
because I think it would be insulting for you to say something like that about New Yorkers. Oh yeah. But over here, everyone makes fun of people from New York, so it works. So yeah, they've been rated by the New York Mafia as #1 to lop off people's fingers, and I just look straight down. And I just look down Bruno's, and then she's like, you don't have to be a funny person in life. You just have to say funny things. And those you can steal from other people. And then we've got some of the pocket knives. These are forever guaranteed. Who do you know that would appreciate a really awesome pocket knife that might have like a birthday coming up? And I don't know why this thing with my hands does something, but I always do it. Like, who do you think has a birthday coming up? Like, you know, just, I don't know. It just kind of makes you like, hey, give me your attention.
Mom, Dad.
I just talk with my hands a lot, right? I think I get their attention. Who do you think that has a birthday coming up?
Sorry.
Get out of the water.
Oh, you're gonna be the best mom ever. And then we also have some outdoor sporting and hunting knives. For when, like, you know, the squirrels get a little out of control out there. Do you like to do any hunting or fishing or anything like that?
Not anymore. We used to.
You used to? Why'd you stop? Okay. Well, he's getting old enough, you know, maybe it could be something that you could look forward to in a couple,
I always
next
tell you
year.
to spend quality time with him and you never do it.
Dang.
If you had a really awesome knife to look forward to utilizing together, would it make you more excited to go spend some time? Like I said, you don't have to get it, but if you want, I can just put it on your wish list.
All right, you can put it on the wish list.
Which one did you like? The
gut hook.
The gut hook one? Heck yeah. Dude, Cutco bringing families together since 1949. All right. And would you get it in the black or the orange color?
The black.
The black. And what would you engrave on the blade? We actually do engraving for free. By the way, I've already sold it, right? Like, they already chose colors. They're already telling engraving.
Mm-hmm.
What would you get engraved on it for free?
I guess that's my name.
Okay. How about both of your guys' name? Because it's going to be both of your knives, and that way when you pass out.
No, just my name.
But then that way you can pass it down to him, and it'll be both of you leaving like that connection.
Last name on it.
Okay, cool. All right, sounds good. So I will put the Anderson.
Jones.
Anderson. I'll put the Anderson killer on it. They'll be like, that's so cool. Right? All right, awesome. All right, well, let me do this. You can feel free to, you know, update your Snapchat. I'm going to go ahead and do some of my pricing here real quick. That is also what I was going to say now, because the mom's going to be like, what? Oh, yeah, that's what you use, right? Then they start talking about stuff. If you guys want to go ahead and update your Snapchat for a little bit and maybe take some pictures of the knives that you're about to get, let me do some pricing here for you. Just give me a minute, okay? And so I tell them, give me a minute. And now I'm getting to work. And I'm about to look like I am cramming for calculus. I'm like, all right. Let me see here. And I'm like frantically writing down prices.
Too bad I actually do that because I don't know what's going on.
That's what I do.
All right. Let's see here. I say, let's see here a lot. I'm like pretending like I'm really stressing by trying to figure out these numbers because I'm trying to give you a really good deal.
Like banging into that keyboard.
Mm-hmm. And here's what I do. So I put on the first number and I'm like, okay. Same thing every single time. I'm like, Okay, I can do that. I want you to pay attention very carefully to how I explain this price. All right, you guys ready?
Ready, Freddy?
Okay, so what's the first thing I just said?
Are you ready?
You guys ready? What does that do?
Kind of makes you
Get
pay
some
attention
prepared.
to it.
Like brings you in, right? You guys ready? All right, awesome. Kind of like bring up the energy. All right, Mrs. Jones. So normally for the trimmer, so I'm bringing their attention, I'm pointing my finger, for the trimmer, the spatula, and the butcher knife, and the petit chef, and the cheese knife, and your new favorite pruners, and the family bringer together hunting knife with the name engraved on it. Normally the value for everything, if you were going to buy it regularly, maybe if you're like waited about it online, whatever you're going to do, is going to be $717. However, because I've got only 4 days left in my contest, I'm going to give you a discount of 20% off. I'm going to give you $134 off the price, and I'm going to give you these pruners for free. Brings the price down to $583. And on the 5 pay, Only 116 plus tax. And what that does is it gives you 30 days to try everything out. By the way, if at the end of the 30 days the pruners weren't as awesome as you thought they were going to be, you can send it back and we'll give you the discount back for that piece. If you didn't think the Petite Chef knife was perfect, if you didn't think the gut hook knife was perfect, if you didn't think anything was perfect, I will literally come back to your home. I will grab a prepaid UPS label and I will send whatever you want back for free. 100% guaranteed. It's no risk. And it's totally flexible, meaning if you get a Petite Chef knife and you wanted a bigger chef knife, if you wanted a different size paring knife or whatever it is, we can always exchange them and there's no restocking fee at all. And it's only $116 today, which you can do on a debit card or credit card plus tax, and there's no interest at all. Okay. So how does that sound?
Okay.
All right, we'll go ahead and do that.
That sound good?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, let me recap that close. Okay, you guys ready?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Okay, so for this, and what am I saying a lot of? And, right? For the trimmer and the spatula spider and the butcher knife and the Petite Chef and the cheese knife. Now, what did I start doing when I started getting to the extra pieces?
The awesomeness.
Yeah, I added adjectives to them and to your new world famous pruners and the family bringer together gut hook knife.
Because those would be like the first ones to go if they didn't like the price. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'm building them up to get them excited about them. So normally the value for all of that, if you were buying it separately, meaning like if you weren't doing it today to build urgency, would be $717. Okay, the savings, so you're gonna get 20% off. Now, how did I calculate 20% off? What I did is I took the price divided by the amount that it would have normally been. I think it was gonna be $100, and now you're only paying $80 of it. How much percentage off is that? 20%, right? You just divide 80 by 100 to get 80%, right? So instead, what I did is I did 583. 583 divided by 717 equals 81%, which means it's 19% off, whatever, 20%. Not a big of a deal. But people like hearing 20% off because that's what they're accustomed to hearing in stores. That's what makes them, that's what they relate to more, which brings it down to 583. And on the 5-pay, it's only 116. And the reason I'm going to explain this is because I hate when I get the baloney answer, we don't split stuff up. We only pay in full. No, you don't, because your cell phone gets split up, and so does your cable get split up, and so does your mortgage get split up, so does your car get split up. The benefit of this is that there is no interest. You buffoon. I don't say any of that. That's what I'm thinking in my head. I mean, I am being recorded. I keep forgetting. Anyways, hello. No, but the reality is I'm going to explain this, how this works, so that way it's more comfortable for them. So it's only 116 today. And the reason we do this 20% down is so you can try it all out. If there's anything that you don't like, you can always exchange it. You can always return it for the full price of the order. And it's totally flexible. And it's only 116 today plus tax on debit or credit card with no interest. How does that sound?
Awesome.
Good.
Sounds good? Let's say they don't do it. Well, let me ask you a question. Do you think that you could live without maybe the pruners and the hunting knives for now and just like stick to the basics, what you really wanted?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, cool. Let me just give you the price on just the basics. People like the word basic. It kind of feels comfortable for them. I'll use a lot of just different terminology like that. It was started at 717. I just subtract the 134 for the pruners as well as the 113 for the knife. I always do the VSP. And this one, my goal is to see, can I bring it down one number in the 100 pile? Can I bring it down one number? It's very powerful to go, like 396 is way more powerful than 403. 3s and 4, right? It's a totally different 100 at that point. Okay, it's like living on the 4th floor versus the 3rd floor. It's like, oh, that is a huge difference. Okay, so I can say that I can do the cheese knife for free. That's a savings of 84. I could have done one of the other ones, but the trimmer or the spatula is under 70, so it wouldn't have created that different number mark. Right, so the P minus 80 quattro is 386. Divided by 5 is 77 on the 5-pay. And at that point, I'll close about 100% of that one. It's just stuff that you want, and I'll give you a storage tray. They're like, okay, cool. I would be shocked if they didn't say yes to that, especially after everything we did all the way down. And that's how you sell $350, $380, $400 on every order. Okay, so what are the things that you're taking out of this that you're going to use the most?
The whole drop down process with writing everything down, going from such a high price to a much lower price.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if your papers don't look like this, you're not selling enough Cutco. You're probably selling like $200 orders, something like that, smaller options. Yeah, you have to have, because I mean, we still have this thing on the paper and now they're down to 77. It's like a big, big, big difference, right? It's all about perspective like that, right?
I like you're getting more for free than you're spending today.
Huge.
Yeah.
That's a huge, huge line. Okay.
Are you in the market to spend $450?
Are you even in the market to spend that kind of money on this? Yes, no? Okay, cool. All right, so does that sound good to you guys?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, high five, Mrs. Jones. You guys are gonna love your Cutco. Welcome to the Cutco family. Now there's one more very important part. Here's where you can really help me out. Because I get paid every single time I show Cutco, but I can only show it to people that have been personally recommended to. So what I'd like you to do while I'm cleaning up is jot down the names of 483 people. Just kidding, just 10 to 15. Not anybody you think would buy any Cutco, just people that are just nice like you, that are willing to take a look. And here's a pen and a sheet of paper to write them on. Write down as many as you can. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your help. Do you mind if I use your sink to wash my knives? And I point.
Sure. Go ahead.
Like I'm already like, I'm out. Okay, cool, thanks. And I'm like, grab everything and I just leave. I don't give them time to say anything. I don't give them time to respond to that. I'm just out. Boom. I'm washing knives. And then like, I'm like over here, you know how like it's at the kitchen table and you know, like in most kitchens, you can kind of sort of see it to some extent. I'm just washing my knives and I'll be kind of like washing them a little bit. So if they're still writing, I'm still washing. I'm not washing. I'm like, if they're like, keep writing and I've only had to wash like 2 to 3 knives, I'll like just wash it again. I'll dry it. I'll like smudge it and then wash it again and keep going and keep going and keep going until I kind of see that they put the pen down. And then I'll wait about 13 seconds. Be like, how'd you do so far? That's my first question. How'd you do so far? It's kind of like I'm going to be now judging how you're doing. I'm going to be grading how you're doing, right? How'd you do so far? So what do you get a lot of times?
3 names.
I got you 3. Oh, that's awesome. And then I look away and I look up. I'm like, what about like one of your neighbors? Wouldn't they be nice? And that's my qualifying question. How about blank? Do you think they'd be nice? How about blank? Do you think they'd be nice? And they're like, sure, you know, I've done one more neighbor. And I'll do the sponsor thing from the kitchen. Mrs. Jones, by the way, if you can get to 5, you become a sponsor. And once I get 50 sponsors, I actually get Cutco for free from my manager that I can then use to help pay for school because I can like actually sell it for cash. So is there any way you can show one more person? It would mean the absolute work to me. And what do you think they're gonna do?
You can get one more name.
Get one more name. Okay, be like, and so I'll be like, oh my God, Mrs. Jones, thank you so much. You were amazing. I really appreciate that. And I write down, and then finally I'm gonna bring everything back. I'm putting stuff away. And then I grab the paper and I'm like, all right, this is awesome. All right, so first of all, and then how do you know Susie?
She's a friend at work.
Friend working, cool. And then where do you guys work? Dell Computers? Okay, awesome.
Okay.
And then is she, and then what's her spouse's name?
I think it's Joe.
Okay, Susie and Joe. Okay, awesome. And then what about Johnny here? How do you know Johnny?
He also works with us.
Okay, and then what's the spouse's name in case she answers when I call?
Jill.
Okay, Johnny and Jill. Okay. And then is that his cell phone number or the home phone number?
It's a cell phone.
Do you happen by any chance have her number? Just because sometimes the moms are a little more interested.
Yeah, I have it here.
Okay, cool. All right, sweet. And then you guys all work together?
So if they give you a guy's name and you go through it with them, just ask if they have the wife's number.
Why would I ask?
Because moms are much nicer than men.
Men are jerks, lack of scheduling, and they're typically douchebags. So yeah.
Yeah.
Aren't we? It's the truth.
Yeah.
All right.
She's like, yeah.
You're like, high five. All right, cool. All right, and then I got the third one. The fourth one, again, I'm going to ask how you know them, what's their spouse's name, and it should say Tom, so I should be already written in there. Okay, cool. All right, so we got the 5. Now, Mrs. Jones, Mr. Jones, I'm in a huge contest, and I wouldn't lie to you and tell you that I'm not going to actually see if we can get to 10, but I'm going to try to make it worth your while. If we get to 10, you become a double sponsor. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a cutting board, like an extra cutting board that worth $20. I'll give it to you for free. So Let's think. What about like your sister?
Let's think.
What?
Let's think. I don't use that.
Okay, but Damien's using it.
I know.
Mhm.
Because do y'all say that?
Yeah.
So what about your sister?
Sure.
Sure. Okay. And what's her name? And so I'll start working. I don't know what you just did right now. I'm a little confused, but that's cool.
I don't know what you're talking about
I
either.
don't know.
She just threw a little shade down there, and I'm okay with it because I do it all the time for you guys, anyways. But
Let's think.
what? Look at her already being a manager.
I don't know. So scary.
I love it. Cry. Okay. And then do you have like any about like your aunt? You think she'd be nice?
What about your aunt?
Yeah. What about your aunt?
No,
She's gonna do
Aunt
next
Susie's
week.
kind of a jerk.
She's gonna die next week.
She's kind of a jerk. Perfect. What's her name? Susie? Okay, I'm gonna write her down.
Perfect.
I love the jerks because they're always the ones that like want something that's really high quality and they have no time for like fluff. And I can do like that demo in like 18 minutes. It'll be really quick. I bet you she'll like you more because she saw me. How's she gonna not be nice to me? And I like when I was in college, that's my would work. Now it's a little creepy, but like now, like at the time, it's like totally worked. Even now, they still think it's funny because I'm just ripping on myself the whole time, and they love it. Right? It's self-deprecating, but it's funny. Okay, so Susie, and then do you have like any like awesome family member that lives out of town? I can do an online demo.
Nope, we all live here.
I live here. Okay, cool. What about someone that you know from church? Oh, I got one. Do you play any sports? And I will literally just like no more parents. I'm just looking like right kid. Do you play any sports?
I played baseball. And
You play baseball? That's cool. What position do you play?
Pitcher.
Pitcher, dude. You got a fastball.
Yeah.
So what do I do when I interact with him? I gave him a high five. How does the little kid feel about me now?
Good.
He feels awesome, right? He loves me. I'm like, cool. What about like one other person from like what about one of the moms from like his baseball team? And then here's what happens. Because now he likes me, he's gonna start suggesting. What about Tommy's mom? What about Joey's mom?
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden I get some from him now too. Like, do you have a baseball directory? And he will run and grab it now because now me and him are bros. Because I high-fived him, I like pounded it out for him, I cut the penny for him earlier. Right? So it's like the little kid, dude, you telling me little kids don't make their parents do stuff at Walmart? Yeah. You ever watched a child make his parents buy them some useless piece of garbage for $20? And if they don't, what happens?
It's so
Oh my God, the biggest.
Yeah, I'm gonna manipulate that too. In a positive way, right? I'm doing it all to help pay for college, but it's all fun and it's all good, and he's gonna help out too, right? And he's like, yeah, I got the baseball director, and he just runs and grabs it and like throws it down sometimes. I'd be like, cool. Who are some of the nice moms from there? And I could walk away now with 10 to 15 extra referrals. I'm not leaving until they've said enough. I will keep on going. I will be late an hour to my next demo for 15 demos. I don't care. There's nothing more important than referrals. I don't care what you just sold, an ultimate set or a trimmer. If you're not getting 10 plus referrals on your demos, statistically, you will fail at this job. It's very hard to come back, isn't it? Right? And Jenny, I think that's probably something that I wish that we probably both wish that we would have done a little bit more hardcore in the beginning, right? Now we're paying for it by trying to like scram, but I'm telling you, referrals is and has always been king. Get more, get one more. And they get to 10, right? And you got like, they didn't give you 10, you got them to 10. You earned those last 3 of them. And now you're at 10. You're like, Mrs. Jones, you are amazing. Just so you know, my world record is 17 leads. I'm not saying that you have to get it today. However, if you got it today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hook you up with that ice cream scoop. Or let's say that there was like a pocket knife or something. I remember earlier that we didn't do the hunting knife, and I can't do the hunting knife, but I can do a free pocket knife for you guys. And I'll engrave his name on it. And little kid's like, so now he's like fucking running to grab shit. He's like, okay, here's my yearbook. Like, I want the pocket knife, right? He will bring you like, you know, his puppy, whatever.
He's gonna say his firstborn.
Yeah. Let's, you know, what about we can just get like one more name, just one more, just to really help me out. How about like one of your other friends? How about like your boss?
Oh my God, she would kill me if I gave her your number.
I know, let's do it anyways.
Okay.
And I'll do that too. Like she'll be like, I know, let's do it anyways. Right? But what if she really loved the product line and she really thanked you because of the fact that now she owns it?
Your new favorite coworker.
Your new favorite coworker, right?
I'd be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Who do you know that has like a lake house? And then I'm going to start up selling to get up style referrals. Who do you know that has a boat?
Boats.
Who do you know that loves to entertain really big?
Oh my god.
Right, you got to write down this person. Who do you know that, like, all right, so like, I got to be honest with you guys. Like, I pay for college with this thing, and this is super important for me. Who do you know that like could like buy all this stuff that would really help me win a scholarship? Who's like the one person that you think could like, you know, if they wanted to, they could like really throw down? And they're like, you should give them this much family, right? That's how it would work for me. It would take a while for me to give you Dimitri. Dimitri's like my one really, really wealthy friend. He's like, out of all of my friends, he's like the wealthiest. And I don't typically give out his contact because it's like my best, richest friend, right? And so it's like I kind of, people typically protect that person because they don't ever want to look bad. But if you have enough rapport, you're like, Mrs. Jones, like, who do you think could really get like everything if they really wanted to? And they're like, okay, how about this? Okay, cool. So you go through all of them. You're like, all right, let me ask a couple questions. If you were me, who would you call first? Right. So if they didn't give you like the, you know, that other person, if you were me, who would you call first? Then I put a $sign next to that person. And then out of these people, who like really loves to cook? And like, oh, you got to talk to Suthi. But actually in this relationship, Johnny's the cook. So I'll put like a C in front of him. I'll put a G in front of like anyone who they say maybe likes to garden, or maybe an H in front of any of the hunters. And then out of these people, are any of them home during the daytime? They're like, actually, yeah, she stays home. Put a D. And then put a D next to some of these people too. Okay, this is awesome, by the way. Mrs. Jones, typically it's a lot easier if people know that I'm gonna be giving them a call. Let me go ahead and send you my voice, my cell phone real quick. That way you can put it down under Cutco. And I already have the text message saved. And I'm like, all right. So, and it's 555, blah, 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 blah. Cool. All right, could you go ahead and I'm going to forward this to you guys.
Yay.
Would you mind real quick? I don't want you to send it to everybody, but could you send it to like just these people real quick while I'm kind of cleaning up the text message I just sent you? It would make it so it's not way out of kind of they know who I am when I'm calling them, so it's not so weird. Then you can just send the text to them for the rest of them later if you want. Okay, so I tell them which ones to send it to. They've gotten the text message already from this point, and I can just have them forward to it. And it's the text message on page 16. Cool. All right, and that's it. Questions. All right, biggest takeaways from today. Let's give your 3 biggest takeaways.
The whole referral process and doing all of that.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, what about it specifically?
Well,
just like going through and qualifying them like down to the thing, and then also like building it up to where you get 10, 15 leads just by building up their like process.
Mm-hmm. All right.
And what do I say? Like, because I've been trying to like add them now on Facebook so I can put them on my little group thingy.
Mm-hmm.
I've just been saying like, do you have like Facebook? Is that okay?
During the demo, you mean?
Like at the very end, like when I'm getting
Yeah, like
referrals.
Mrs. Jones, I like to typically send out discount messages around the holiday season. Do you have a Facebook account? Okay, cool. How do I find you on it? And I open up Facebook real quick.
I literally just already have my Facebook open.
Yeah, and I just go to like, and let me search them. And they're like, oh, you got to find it on this person. Be like, how about this? Can you just find me? Because my name's kind of unique. That works for me typically. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but.
You take a picture and put it on Facebook with their order form.
No, because that has
not with their order form.
Shipping address.
Obviously put that part on there.
What I would do is I would like be like, hey, let's take a selfie here. Why don't you hold up your favorite knife? And it's like, boom, with the whole family. And then I post it on their page later, thanking them for their order. And then add them to your Facebook group. All right, cool. I think finally, Homegirl showed up. Bye.